Morning, Farmily. I was just trying to do a live for you, but my Facebook Live wouldn't hold the service the whole way through. I literally got through, hey, Farmily, and it ended on me. So this is being recorded for you. And I noticed today that we're seven people away from being at 500 followers. So I really appreciate every single one of you. And I know at 400, as a thank you, I was going to do a farm tour. And then when I wanted to do this way, my phone didn't have enough space to be able to do it for you this way. So now I have a new phone. I have some space. And I started here so you could see the beautiful little Love in a Puff that I am falling in love with. They're the cutest little puffs. My daughter loves poking at them. And here it's so much fun because those have little seeds that are black with white little hearts. Here is little Iris. She wants to say hi. You ready to show the farm?
Hi.
Let's still go see the farm, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You want to take us? The flower rose got a little away from me, but I definitely have learned quite a bit. I'm gonna do a bit of a different type of growing system here for the gladiolas because all the weeds just grew up and then they didn't allow for airflow around the gladiola, which caused them not to open very well. I also wasn't very pleased with the mix that I received, that I had purchased. Although I love the yellow, I was expecting a variety of colors, and unfortunately there wasn't. So, not very pleased with the mix. Back there, this lovely grass seed patch right now, this over my shoulder, is where the daffodils are. So, what we're going to be doing is cutting everything down, tarping it, so it's ready for when I need to get everything else in the ground for next year, and it'll kill all the weeds, and then I can pull it back when the daffodils are ready to pop up, and that will be that. So I've learned quite a bit. The dahlias have been quite fun. They luckily got big enough where when the weeds have started to grow up, they're not causing a problem, which is great. I didn't get to trellis them like I had wanted, but some of them are not really having an issue with that. Also, a lot of people say you need to dig up your dahlia tubers. However, I will not be. I am going to be overwintering them because we are more of a 7A, 7B. It's a major risk, but I'm going to be mulching them and then putting a tarp over them as well so that any excess rain, because we do have quite wet winters just because of the rain, I don't want the rain rotting out the tubers. So that's going to be a major experiment. The beginning stages of this flower farm have definitely been quite the experiment. So the ducks are merrily away swimming. Let's go see them now. So here they are. They were just splashing around, but of course they have now since stopped. I'm not gonna get too close to the ducks just so that they have a chance to walk and they don't get frightened. But those are cayugas. They have done beautifully. We raised them. We got them this summer, May or June, and they have just done beautifully. So by spring, we'll have duck eggs as well. There are only about 2, maybe 3 females in that mix. So when we're ready, we will be selling 1 or 2 of our males, and I'll probably get a fresh batch of cayuga chicks again and raise them. Ducks have become one of my favorite animals. Midnight, what are you doing? One of my favorite animals to raise on the farm, to raise here, and they're so much fun to watch. Look at them shaking their little butts after they went into the water. They are just so fun. Cayugas are a multi-purpose bird. You can use them for egg laying as well as meat harvest. I will show you one of my experiments, which has done beautifully. And although silkies take a while to break things down, there is success with trying to have a compost pile with silkies. And you can see that beautiful dirt compost that they have just scratched up like crazy. So I will be collecting that. So I haven't gotten to show you the little chicks that the silkies hatched this spring. So I'll do that now. They are hiding right now in this little place. The mamas are gonna say, why are you trying to run in there? Hopefully you can see them. Hubby's taking all the leaves down right now from the netting above. The whole reason why we have the silkies is because silkies typically go Brody. Yes, I see, yeah. Kind of like this. They want to become mamas. So they'll start laying on a clutch of eggs naturally. Some chickens just don't have that instinct, but silkies certainly do. So we have them so that eventually when there's enough of them, we can take our meat bird eggs and put them under the silkies so the silkies can help us with increasing the flock of them. And I can show you right here just how beautiful this, like look how beautiful this is. So I can't wait to harvest all of their wonderful compost that they've broken down for me. So here in the egg laying chicken coop, there's been quite a few experiments going on. One of them is adding our rabbits in here, just because we've done multiple arrays of trying to raise our rabbits. These are meat rabbits. The rabbits' poop is actually a manure that you can harvest right away and put directly onto a garden. So it's great fertilizer to keep on hand. So that's one of the reasons why I like to keep rabbits. But we have not been successful with them. Predators have attacked our colony hutches for them, and we think a few times that rodents were trying to get to the babies. So we haven't had success with them as of yet. So we picked up 4 from the Sugarloaf grass-fed farm that we get all of our livestock from, and they are doing beautifully. One of my favorite things that hubby did for the rabbits, which is helping me immensely with taking care of them, is actually this PVC pipe that has this little, I don't know if you can see it while I do this, but it has a little nipple right there.
Leave the ducks alone, babe.
They can drink from it, and the pipe goes all the way through. So it is literally just me filling up this 5-gallon bucket every 2 days. And it has been a dream taking care of their watering. I do give them pellets and fresh produce when I can, but I also go around and collect greenery from the property. When the comfrey is ready to harvest, I chop it down and provide them comfrey. They enjoy some oak leaves and maple leaves. Look there, she's eating a maple leaf now. I did try sorrel this morning, which is this, but they're not seeming to like it. It's all going through the ground here. And then one of their favorites is plantain. Other thing, if you are going to be keeping rabbits, something good to keep on hand in case they get ear mites, which one of ours just did, is mineral oil. The pet supply store sells, ear mite treatment and that kind of thing, but all you need is mineral oil. So I have a dropper and mineral oil, and I do that once a day, and it's already started to clear up. Let's head over to the piglets. The beautiful thing about feeding your animals compost and leftovers is just the amazingness of squash plants and melons that will just pop up out of nowhere. This season has been notorious for popping up squash everywhere on the property. You got a blue butt. Were you laying in some chalk? Kids chalk? If you haven't met one of our farm guardians, this is Pistachio. This is the mama. She gave us 2 litters. And people have fallen in love with this breed, the Anatolian breed, as much as us. Look at that beautiful face. Hi, Daisy girls. We call her Stashy for short, but her full name is Pistachio. So we've been working on creating more paddocks back here in the woods for the pigs because they love foraging for all the nuts that fall. We have oak like crazy, so they forage for all the acorns. So the piglets,
We could microchip them.
they are running around. Let me see if I can show you. There they are,
Hold on, I'll get them.
the piglets.
No, ew.
No, piglet, they see with
Hey,
cattle panel,
mommy.
they can get right out of the fencing. So they run all around away from mama. But there they are, right there. We had 6. They got out the other day, went for a stroll down the road, and somebody unfortunately swiped one of the piglets. So by the time I got down there to grab everybody, when I was like, oh my goodness, they're taking a stroll in the park. So the piglets, so we had 4 females, now 3, and 2 males. And now they are nursing. I'm gonna give the phone to Sean so he can get a close-up of mama with her piglets.
Daddy, I don't think you get any. Hey. Come, go. Go ahead, leave them alone.
So those are the piglets. And like I was saying, we're working on another paddock. So this is the additional paddock. This does work beautifully. Somebody fought Sean in Rural King saying that's not going to keep the pigs in. Well, if it's installed correctly, it will. So when we were deciding on the fencing, because for our first round of pigs that we ever raised, they were red wattle, and they are huge pigs. So we have cattle panel for them to keep them in, just with it being a stronger fencing. But for these American guinea hogs, they are fabulous, and they don't root up much. They love to forage. They've been a dream to raise, and but they don't push out the fencing, which is really great. So when Sean was deciding on what fencing, he did decide on this fencing. What do you call this one? I forget. This
2x4.
2x4, 36 inches. I think actually this one is 48. 36?
No, that's 30.
This is 36?
Oh no, 48.
Okay. The real good trick with this kind of fencing so that they don't push out is making sure that when you run it, it goes on the inside of where they're going. So for instance, this part here, this fence should really be on the inside, and then they don't push out. You're good. Then they won't push this part out. So we had some help on hand to do this part of the fence. So this part was put out incorrectly, and that's how they got out the other day. I came in and reinforced this here. You can see I came through and pulled it so that this would not be, but you can see how it did break where they had pushed it out. But it has on the other end in the old paddock done beautifully. They've never gotten out of that location. This new paddock is also on a hill, so we also are fighting a bit slope and that kind of thing. So roots raising the fence in some areas. However, it's still wonderful. We just have to reinforce before we put them back into this paddock. So the fence runs all the way down, keeps going, and it's another big huge paddock for them as soon as it's ready. We did seed the other paddock with a really great foraging mix. Already ate it all, the sprouts and everything coming up. So we will have to, but it came up beautifully. So we're really excited. Don't remember what it was, but it was just a mix of different plants, radishes and blackberries and that kind of thing. Let's head over to the garden. That's a wild mess this year. So my jungle of a garden, I'm just waiting for it all to die down and then I'll weed everything back. However, some great things grew up. I did get dragon tongue beans in the ground. There's some that sell seeded that I am hoping that I'll get another harvest from before winter hits. Also, my hollyhock did come up this year. The blooms were wonderful. I had collected the seeds to save and then left them in the garden. It rained, they got in the bowl and ruined the seeds. So I have to wait again till next year. But this has just become quite the crazy forest. So let me show you some things that have been successful this year anyway in my forest here. So this patch here, whoops, this way, goes out further, right this way, there you go. That is all strawberries, and the kids had a blast. Unfortunately, they're not ever bearing, they're only June bearing. It's a pretty big harvest actually. Every day we were getting like at least 2 handfuls, but it's only in June, so I will be getting ever bearing strawberries eventually. Also, last year I only had about 2 stalks of asparagus come up, and this year I had quite a bit more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stalks came up this year. So that's quite exciting. Probably next year or the following year will be the year we'll be able to start. They say about 3 to 4 years before you can start harvesting on asparagus. My elephant ear came back this year, which I love them so much. They're huge and exotic and remind me of Thailand. And then this white cluster are all the seeds from my pink swamp milkweed that came up again from last year. So we will see how it reseeds itself. I can't plant much on the outside because the dogs like to run through it, but my my bee balm here did come back from last year too in like major force. So they're just going to be taking over. And my Jerusalem artichoke are doing beautifully, and they're great for cut flowers. So I've been enjoying harvesting from them as well. There was a surprise pumpkin plant over here, and we got one little pumpkin, a variety that I didn't even plant up here. So that was lots of fun. Here's a close-up of Jerusalem artichoke flowers, which I just love. And then in the crazy jungle mess, I just noticed yesterday, really fun, I don't know, this leaf right here is a tomato plant. So as soon as I saw the tomatoes popping up from last year, so a lot of volunteers came up this year, and that's how I've had a little bit of a harvest, which has been fun. With the tomatoes, I'm definitely going to go in there and weed some down so I can maybe get a few tomatoes in before the season is up. I hope you are doing wonderfully, Farmily, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.